Caliburst, because I never missed a shot in my life.
But you've never taken a shot in your life.
See when I lie to you?
Call me.
Welcome back to the Titanium Hangar. This is Mike coming at you with the XTransbots Conechrome, the MX-68T for toy, and J for Japanese release. Now, this is their take on a Slugslinger and a Caliburst. And I gotta say that I'm gonna review both at the same time so that you can compare and contrast and decide which version that you like more, that you think looks better. And with that, we're going to get into all of this fun stuff. But I did get this stuff at Showz's store. So I'm going to link down below for both of these where you can get these at Showz's store for yourself. Remember, TH in the support your reviewer, help the reviewer is always helpful. But let's take a look at these guys. A lot of fun. I'm really glad XTransbots is doing these. And for a relatively affordable price point and very obscure. But let's get into Conechrome coming up. All right, starting out with the packaging, we got the toy version over here with a very toy-esque kind of G1 inspired box. No window. A window would be nice, but it's not really necessary. Very, very G1 inspired with that. And I am kind of doing something since I'm doing both of these. I'm trying to keep everything separated so I don't mix it up. But part of it, I can just go back to the intro, I guess. But there's that. One of the things I like to do is see if it's possible to match the pose that is on the box. And I sort of did. I sort of got that pose matched. Sort of just fun thing I like to do. Japanese version still got the shiny kind of metallic look like we got with the first one, which I really didn't point it out, but I'm sure you saw it. And looks more like standard XTransbots packaging. So that's got the writing on the side. Best way to keep one's word is to not give it. Don't give your word. You don't have to keep it up. There's the alt mode. And not sure if I can hit that pose or not. Well, I mean, I think I kind of set it up sort of close to it. But yeah. Now we're going to get into, yeah, there it is. Got the pose. Got the pose. Right out of the box. I want to say they look magnificent. Very good paint. They look good. Different colorations, obviously. Different head sculpts, obviously. And yes, there is some level of stability issue with them. There's back heavy because of the giant back parts. Also, the ankle, not the most supportive ankle. Not very supportive down there, are you? But the design's a little strange. We'll get into that. But at the same time, with a little bit of time and effort, you can make it work. But I gotta, let's show the back, and then I'll show you a quick hack I learned from Influence's Interest. Had a really good hack there. I like watching videos while I wait for mine to show up. And with that, this is trying to look at the similarities and differences between these. More similar than different, other than the backs of the heads, which, yeah, they're just different styles of heads, and kind of get them turned around. So Influence's Interest, great YouTube channel, check them out. I had a good tip to just put these feet, tuck them up under, so that more or less you're think about the physics of it, you're getting it straight up and down like a column. You got more support on it. But also, if you get it just right, you're still supporting it with the lip of the foot right there. Makes them a little bit taller, but a little bit more stable. This design's not the greatest for the ankle, and you would kind of think they would have something on the other side of it, but not really. So it's a little strange. So I will admit that is the weak point in this figure, but you obviously don't have to let it run your whole experience. I mean, unless you want to. Unless you want it to run your whole experience, then, well, you can let the ankle run your experience. It's not the greatest design, but it makes for probably an easier transformation, I would guess. That's part of why they did it. And easier transformation is probably costs less to manufacture. I don't know. Still, they look great, and with a little bit of manipulation, you can get them to stand relatively well. For accessories, they come with extra faces. Here is his standard face for the toy version, and then if I can say, you just swap it out with the smiling, laughing, crazy face. I don't want to bother with all that, but you know, it'd go right there. Now, when I unpacked these, this face just fell out, and then the other one, I was like, oh, does the other one even have it? And it turns out the other one does have it. It's in that little spot there, and it's a smirk. I don't know if the camera's going to pick the smirk up all the way. So, if you're interested in that, and the way it works, it's the whole face. So you get the whole face instead of just the mouth and underneath the eyes. So they did it different head. I don't really know why, but I'm sure it has to do with matching the aesthetic. And that's one thing that XTransbots usually does, matches the aesthetic nearly perfect. Which we have Caliburst also, and a screwdriver. A screwdriver fell out of it too, so I'm guessing you need a screwdriver to change one of the heads out. Not gonna mess with it. But I will say that these are nice looking little figures. So the coloration sort of matches closer. So this is more of a teal, in the teal, and that's more of aqua. And then this is more of purple, and that's more of a dark blue, but still sort of a matching game there for these guys. And then when you look at it, a lot of die cast in it, a lot of weight. So pretty good overall. Pretty good looking figure. It feels good too. So, I mean, I think they're doing a good job with their target masters right there, but I guess we should get it transformed up. So let's go ahead and get this guy transformed up. Want to pull this back and then use your nail and just pop that out. And then you're going to double hinge it over his head. Close it down. Then you're going to shift the pelvis up. And then it's just real simple. You're folding the leg down on itself and tabbing it into the arm. Quick, simple, and easy. I like a fast, easy car transformation. It didn't quite go over it the right way. The foot got in the way of itself. Alright, there we go. So treating him like an accessory that he is, but he is his own character. And he looks good. So you have two holding options, since we have two of these guys. Now you can just, through friction, form a fist and hold the figure. And that's fine. That'll work fine. Or you can just do the old flip-a-roo if you want. Probably block and like to do this, but you flip the hand around, which exposes the port that this would connect into. There's the port. There's the connection. I have never really been a fan of that. So with all this, I'm not a fan of that at all. Just the clipping it in like that, I would rather see them hold it. Even though there's not a tab, it's not made specifically to be held like that, but it can be held like that. And as we get into comparisons, we're going to notice that we've seen this before with Misfire. Guess we're going to get into articulation. I didn't do this, guys, so let's do it first. The head's on a ball joint, so side to side, up and down. I believe it's on a ball joint. I can't get it to go up much, though. Side to side. Okay, shoulder goes up like so. 360, biceps. Nope, no bicep swivel. No bicep swivel. But elbow. You've got an ab crunch due to the transformation, but I don't get a waist swivel out of it. You can go past the 90 on the knee, on the hip, and way past the 90 right there. He can do the splits. And then he's got a double jointed knee. Well, yes and no. I mean, it gets you more range than a double jointed knee would because it collapses in on itself. And the feet are actually articulated too. So feet articulation. And so he is pretty good figure. Pretty solid. He's got a lot of die cast. And then let's do the articulation on the toy version with his missing hand here. All right, head will go side to side, up and down. Looks like wheels on the back of his head. So those wheels on the back of your head. So a little bit limited on the up, but pretty nice down. You can go almost to the 90 out to the side. You do have a butterfly engineered in, so that's interesting. 360 ratcheted. Would you call it a soft ratchet? And I guess if you really want to, that's part of the transformation, but you can manipulate that joint if you would like. Bicep swivel, double jointed on the elbow. Fingers are independently articulated. Do we have the 3? So we've got the 3 here, the pointer finger, and 1, 2 points of articulation on each finger. And you can get a point. You can get a nice point out of it because he's a Decepticon, so he's gonna be rude. And point, waist swivel, ab crunch, pretty nice. So it proves that, hey, could Seekers get waist swivels one day? People love that. Point goes past the 90. It's got ratchet hardware in there. And this appears to have does it have a drop down? No, but that's really nice ratchet there. No ratchet to the side though. And it's even tighter to the side where there's no ratchet. And then thigh swivel, double jointed on the knee. And just be careful not to let it collapse, and then make sure that this little piece here is out. And then the feet have just a tiny little bit of rotation to this ankle rocker. And then it does, of course, you can go up and down and all of that. But the more you move it, the more you're going to have to tighten that screw up eventually. So I say get it in your... I mean, for something like this, I'm not going to be messing with it every day. Get it in this pose. Call it a day. All right, for comparison, I'm going to be using Optimus Prime and Misfire. And as you can see, Misfire over here with his aimless is... he's holding it. I know everybody says he can't hold it. They can't hold them, but... they can, if you work at it, but they look good. They look good. They fit. They scale well. Works out really well. So you'd be like, well, I'd probably have them next to Megatron. No, you'd probably have them next to Galvatron in reality, but I didn't want to lug a Galvatron up here. Just got these ready to go, and I think that they're doing really good work with these Target Masters. Here they are next to a couple of their own Constructicons, and I like the color breakup here. Let's try to get it a little bit more centered, but that looks pretty nice. Anyway, you can kind of get size, scale. They hang in there with the Constructicons, and actually all this scaling together looks really good. And we're talking like early, these are pretty much season 1, right? Yeah, season 1 Devastator and season 4, right? Now for the transformation, of course, we already have one hand already folded in, and so we need to do the same with this hand. Make a good fist, right? Not a bad fist. And see if we can get this sucker folded in. And then what we're going to do here about this time, we're going to fold this down. And then, as you can see, when you turn the arm right here, this tab, there's a tab right there, and it'll tab into that slot. So you need to use this joint to tab that in, get that lined up. Same thing over here. So we'll stay down here. We're folding it down, and we're bringing that out till that lines up. And then we're going to fold that over, turn that over one turn, and then we're going to line it up with that slot and tab. And make sure that's in there good. All right, so that's all pretty good, and we need to work on these. Let's back this up so we make sure we don't go off camera there, out of angle. We want to do a couple of things. It doesn't really matter the order, but we want to slide this in. Now with that one, the kind of knees kept sliding on me throughout the transformation, so get that knee. This one that holds better, but those I would say the transformation, just kind of like when I was posing it, like sometimes this whole slider thing would make it slide. Makes me think that eventually it's not going to hold and as tight, so that's in my opinion kind of a downside to the design. But it is what it is. By the way, there's a lot of die cast. You're feeling it as you're transforming. You feel all that die cast that's in there. We're gonna kind of push it forward, and then we're gonna slide it like so, and eventually it's gonna fold back. But then we rotate this and put it into the foot, and then we can see that. So that's how that is done. Same thing over here. Rotate it forward to where it's kind of into the hole, the cavity right there. And then I guess we need to rotate the opposite direction and push it into the foot. It's like a foot filler. Then we come up here to the top, and we are going to pull the head out like so, and then we're going to disengage this chest. Okay, and then as you can see, it just opens way up so that you can work on it, which is nice. I mean, that's really a nice point here. Now we got these side fillers that are going to come out, and like that. Then we bring these out, and I was wanting to keep them together, but I think it is better to do one transformation at a time. So I think it's probably possible to do both, but let's just do one. Fold that up. Fold all this fun stuff in to just form the cone, the full cone. Now, there's a couple of different ways to get this piece done. Like, they have a little ridge for you to kind of use your nail, and then you get up under here with another nail at the same time and make it flat. I kind of was using a toothpick to help me so I don't mess up the paint. But it's tricky. I don't have it fully engaged right there, but I'm going to mess with it just a bit. See, I pull it back here behind the camera and it popped smooth into there. But when you go to manipulating it, you can easily find yourself accidentally putting too much pressure on it, popping back out. Anyway, there's one done. We can do the same thing on the other side. And bring it out. Mess with the camera. This comes out. We collapse these together, and then we do the same thing with that. And I don't know, maybe I can do magic. I just did it with the toothpick. Hey, it worked. Now, so then this is going to come up here. Well, this little piece here, it just tabs into place. That's fun. And then we're going to tab it in up top. Now, this is where I accidentally on the other one pushed up there. So push on the bottom of, like, right below the cockpit to get these little tabs into place. Probably want to do it at the same time. Make sure they're fully tabbed in. Needs a little bit of pressure. And remember all this wonderful die cast. All right, now we're going to flip back around to here, and we're going to fold all this up into here. And this is a little trickier than I was originally thinking, but as you can see, we got tabs and stuff, and it tabs around that leg, so you kind of have to kind of wiggle it into place. Wiggle, there it goes. Well, sort of. You're going to wiggle it into place, and then you're going to bring the foot around, and the foot's going to go all the way into here. You can see that. Then this will just close up nice and easy. Real simple. And so again, doing the same thing on the other side. I don't feel like the fitment is equal on these, but as long as you can get it closed together to fold the foot around, then you've got it. That the foot, if there's any like you see the foot's not going all the way around, you just don't have the leg in it all the way. So just fiddle with getting the leg completely in it. There, well, not, yep, and then fold the foot up. If it goes all the way, it's there. If it doesn't go all the way, it's not there yet. It's not there yet. Yeah, see how it's not there yet? It's just an alignment thing. I just took it off camera, got it aligned. Actually turned around the other way, and now it aligns, and it just closes nice and easy. It took like 10 seconds. Now we're gonna come close this up, but we gotta do a few things real quick. So this piece here is gonna go up so it'll fit through this properly, and then we're gonna turn the head around before we close it up. And I think we might want to get this. So on the other one, the face popped off as I did this. All right, so then we're gonna close this in here. Come on. There it goes. Tighten all this up. And we're pretty much there. There's one last thing. You want to flip these pieces up to pull the landing gear out. And landing gear is pretty tight. Guess it's supposed to be nice and tight. It's tighter on this one than the other one. Wow. Wow. Not sure why it's so tight, but anyway. Pretty easy transformation. A masterpiece transformation in like 9 minutes is a pretty good transformation. Move my toothpick out of the way. Slide the Caliburst in there. And we've got them. We've actually got we got both of them. We got both of them in their alt mode. All right, so here they are in their alt mode, and I really do think they look fantastic. Nailed it. I love the kind of metallic looking paint. Of course, it was in bot mode too, transferred over. I love the weight behind it. I love the die cast that's in it. And yes, it is a little cartoony. Now, one of the things that I haven't really talked about is you can put some stickers on the toy version. There's stickers and a card, and there's just a card for the Japanese one. So if it's looking a little plain, little not an airplane. Well, yeah, okay. It's a little plain, a double plane. No, it looks like it might need some stickers. Well, guess what? You got stickers to put on it and all that good stuff. So let's look at this one, since we've had enough looking at the toy version. This is the Japanese version. You do have these pieces here carried over from the bot mode, back to the bot mode, and then really clean all around. Like, almost can't tell that's just a folded up bot. Almost. That's the back of his head. But looks really good, really clean, very solid. So yeah, I like it. I like it. And that's one of the weird things. I was never really like a huge fan of the character itself until I think Titan Turns came out and brought a lot of attention to how cool that character really was. And here we go. And of course you can have the Caliburst on there, so that's a big plus. The vintage one, this piece here on the Caliburst, the vintage one was, I think it was a separate part. I just got to looking around because I don't have the vintage one, and I thought I did. And I'm looking around and I'm like, well, I guess I don't. And I was looking online. And I'm like, what makes it one complete? How does the Target Master work and stuff? But wow, this looks really good. Really, really good. I think they've done a fantastic job. And lastly, we can open up these cockpits, both of them. And one of the things that I found that when you go to close it, maybe just brute force, but also if you just kind of push down a little on the nose cone, it'll go in there. At the same time, I probably disengaged that. No, I didn't. Yeah, really nice looking alt mode. So how does it look with a couple of other figures? So that's Tracks from Takara. That's the XTransbots version of Cup. And then the MMC Sphinx. Always fun. Gotta like the blue one in it too. Of course. Why not? It looks great. It fits in, and you know, Cup's in there with that Season 4 crowd. Alright, so what more is there to say about these guys other than the fact that they look good, they feel good, they're solid. They're not perfect. The ankles, which by the way, I do appreciate that how they pulled it off in the transformation, it's weak. It's a weak point that we have to overcome as collectors in our display. But it's been overcome, so it wasn't a big deal. I was able to keep them standing. They didn't fall on me during the review. I mean, there's a lot of good things. He's a little back heavy too with the big backpack. But past that, the Target Master is very solid, really nice. A lot of people complain about Target Master sucking. These don't suck. And at the same time, the figure's full of die cast. It feels really good. The colors are really nice. And one of the things I really didn't talk about so much, though, after messing with it a while, is the elbow. So the elbows are a little weak to hold up the Target Master, which is kind of a negative, in a way, a downside. But overall, they pulled this character off fantastically, aside from the minor issues. And with that, no one else is going to be pulling off one of these, and if they do, it probably won't be this good. And definitely not going to see this from Fans Toys. And so with that, if you want one of these, you can get them from Showzy's store. Above link down below, you can get yours too. Remember, TH and the help support your reviewer. I always appreciate that. And with that, let me know what you think about these. Is this one of those things where the figure looks good to you and you feel like picking one up? Or is this a little too obscure? Because I think I might need to make a video about obscure characters yet again. Let me know in the comments. So like and subscribe. Take care, hang around.
The rest of you go with him. Make sure he doesn't fail again.
Now, Autobozos! Slugslingers here!
Welcome to the scrapyard,